Welcome in, ladies and gentlemen, to Ysn Primetime, live from Leavittsburg, Ohio, the home of the LaBrae Vikings. DJ Oakley, Donnie Riccatelli, Steve Leslie. We are here for you, and we are here for football tomorrow night. We'll be joined shortly by the head coach and some of the players of the LaBrae Vikings. Of course, John Armini, one of my favorites. A guy is a straight shooter, straight up and down. Can't say enough about him and what he's done to this program.
Yeah, no doubt. We had a chance to talk to him a couple times last year. They made the playoff run, had a great playoff game that we enjoyed covering. One of my favorite places to cover. I mean, he does a great job here. LaBrae supports their athletic teams big time, and it's been a huge get for us at YSN, no doubt. And it's a thrill to be here, honestly. I have not been to the new stadium. Great play. I mean, it's not a new stadium, but I was used to come over when they were over at the old school where the little guys are playing now. But DJ, great facility, locker room facilities, and have opened up their arm to us. We're glad to be here.
Donnie, when you look at this matchup between LaBrae and Brookfield, one of the biggest on the entire network tomorrow night, what do you see?
I think it's going to be, a stingy Brookfield defense versus an elite style offense in LaBrae. I think it's going to be exciting to say the least. And I mean, both teams want this really bad. I mean, you're talking 4 and 5 in the playoff rankings. I think it's going to be a phenomenal game all the way through.
A programming note before we get too much further. The Thunder rolls in the back, and I'm not talking about Garth Brooks. So because we are out in the open under under a tent surrounded by aluminum, we will probably be cutting this one short this week after our interviews with Coach Armini and the players. So what that means is we will do well by getting our picks in. We'll put them in at some point tonight, and we'll put them out digitally on ysnlive.com. So if you're a big, if this is something you put on your bulletin board,
hold off.
You'll be all right. We'll make sure you're taken care of as well. But again, boys, we got a big week on the network. Obviously, again, cancellations, headlining week 8. We saw Crestview go down. Garrettsville picked up Rootstown. It's like a giant jigsaw puzzle now with 29 cancellations this year, which is significantly more than even last year. What does this say about the situation we're in moving forward from week 8, 9, and 10 and into the playoffs?
It's that much more important. Like I believe a few weeks ago, Billy was even talking about it, about getting games in. If both teams are canceled and they play each other the following week, move it up a week, bump it up, whatever you can do, get these games in, because computer rankings don't care if you're out that week or not. So
you look at your situation. Boardman can't play against Ursuline,
right.
and we were talking before. It's hurtful for Boardman because they needed a win over a big team like Ursuline. That would have been a signature win.
Yeah, and not necessarily saying that they would have gotten a win, but to have the opportunity to compete to win a game that they're not going to be able to do. So it's really going to hurt their chances for week 11.
Stevie, what's your takeaways from all this?
It's got to be a nightmare for athletic directors. And I think that the thing for me is it's becoming later in the week. I mean, it seems like we're getting a hold of one another in our text at YSN. It's a Wednesday, and hats off to the people that go out and play one another. Like Cleveland St. Joe's coming into Ursuline and play. Rootstown's going to play Garfield. That's a big time game. It has to be a nightmare for coaches, for kids, for players. I mean, I know how excited the Ursuline and Boardman kids that one another. It's a rivalry. You want to play. And then Wednesday, you're shifting gears now. And let's hope in Boardman's sake that they can get it cleared for next week.
The challenge has to be for the players is getting tape on the new team, right? If you're going to play a game, like Garrettsville's got to get tape on Rootstown, which shouldn't be tough. No. We have a couple games here on the network. Right. If you want $2.99, you can have it. But the reality is preparation for that game.
Right. Well, luckily for Garrettsville, Rootstown is a very similar team to Crestview. So and I, no knock on Crestview or Rootstown, but Garrettsville's going to play their game regardless. You have to stop them. That's the mentality that they're going to have. So,
all right, Columbiana and East Palestine gets canceled due to COVID concerns on East Palestine's side. Instead of trying to replace that game, they both agreed to play Week 11. Do you like that? Do you like being able to move it down? They know the odds are not in their favor to be in the playoffs, playing that game regardless because of so much history, tradition, the rivalry, taking that game and moving it to Week 11.
I'm okay with it. Honestly, I am. I think you're trying to continue to promote your schools. It's a big-time rivalry. You look at the computer rankings, probably not going to happen for either one. I love it that kids will get a chance to play that game.
Absolutely.
I do. Don't you the same?
No, I agree as well. I mean, the fact that they're not running away from playing each other,
Yeah.
and they said, okay, we'll play week 11. It speaks volumes for both programs. I mean, East Palestine easily could have just shut down and folded after week 10. I mean, with the limited kids that they have, but kudos to them for stepping up.
And you look, that'll be the second game that we have in week 11, guaranteed that will not be playoffs. Leetonia playing Sebring, a game that was supposed to kick off the year on YSN and in the state of Ohio.
Yeah.
So very interesting. I like it. I like it a lot. We have a lot more coming your way when we come back on YSN Primetime Live right after this.
We are there in your community. Small business owners, mechanics, police officers, homemakers. And we are there serving our nation in the Air Force Reserve. When medical emergencies arise, in cybersecurity, when natural disasters happen, we are there in space. We are Reserve Citizen Airmen, and we are there with over 180 different jobs to serve your country. Air Force Reserve.
Working with your family can be stressful at times, but because they're family, you know that you're going to get a loving, honest answer, even when things don't make sense, to any problem. Dealing with Medicare can be confusing and overwhelming. That's why here at Myers Family Insurance, we do our best to give you honest and caring answers to all of your questions. Family, like Medicare, isn't always perfect, but when you put others first, the results can be.
New things happen all day. Some are good, some not so good. In today's complicated world, while you're busy working, playing, and living life, we're busy helping you make sense of the day's news. And there's only one place where it comes together with clarity, context, and accountability. It's 21 News at 6 with me, Madison Tromler, and Derek Steyer.
21 News at 6. It's what the day's news really means to you.
Welcome home to a home made homier with Baird Brothers Fine Hardwoods. Inspiration starts at BairdBrothers.com and is turned into reality when high-quality hardwoods are delivered right to your home. Baird Brothers has the latest design trends, shiplap and skinny lap interior siding, antique oak rustic flooring, and, well, you'll find them all at BairdBrothers.com. Ordered easily, delivered conveniently, enjoyed comfortably. BairdBrothers.com.
At Greenwood Chevrolet, shop with confidence knowing we're ready to go the extra mile for you. With the largest selection of used vehicles in the Valley, backed by the Greenwood Advantage Warranty. Every one of our vehicles has undergone our own 126-point inspection, so it passes the most important inspection, yours. No other dealership has the extra inventory, gives you extra for your trade, and goes the extra mile for you. Only at Greenwood Chevrolet.
Welcome back on YSN Primetime Live. DJ Yoakley, Donnie Ricks. I like that nickname.
Donnie Ricks, I like that.
And Stevie Les with you. Coach Armini going to be here in about 30 seconds, it looks like. He's bringing an umbrella. So he's ready to go. We're going to talk about a couple games to get us kind of to that point, a couple highlighted games, guys. When you look at it, this game, nonetheless, what do you take away from it? We've already talked about it a little bit. We glazed over it. Who do you think comes out with a dub tomorrow night?
LaBrae.
Yeah.
Big plays. Love their offense. Was able to watch them practice, like what I see. Going against talent, a good receiver at Brookfield, a little athleticism there, but I think LaBrae gets a big win at home.
All right. You have, let's go to Howland Chaney. This one interests me a little bit on a couple of different reasons. Both teams still technically fighting for the playoffs, and the winner goes a long way towards getting that goal.
Yeah, and another one of those games last week where Howland had to hurry up and find a team, and they decided, or Mooney had to find a team, and Howland didn't. They ended up playing at 1 o'clock on the day of their actual homecoming dance. I don't think they were prepared at all, and it afforded Cardinal Mooney to have their first win of the season. So I don't know. I think that's a deflating game for them, and I think Chaney's defense and their size on the defensive line is going to cause fits for that running game for Howland. So I'm going to go with the Cowboys.
It's about dinner time, so let's talk spaghetti. The Spaghetti Bowl down in Leetonia this year. Lisbon at Leetonia. Two teams really, again, trying to find their character, their makeup. But this one is always a great rivalry. Stevie, who do you like in this one?
Big rivalry. I'm going to go Lisbon. I like the way they've played the last 2 or 3 weeks. A big-time rivalry will be a great environment. I'll take Lisbon.
Another nice rivalry. We've got Niles and Struthers. Two teams, again, kind of on the cusp of some big things.
Yeah, there's
in week
some
11.
points there in
Yeah,
that one.
definitely some points there. And you know what? Coach said last week his game of the week was Struthers Jefferson. And, man, they put up some points in that game. So that had to be a lot of fun to watch. But I'll go with the Wildcats in that.
Let's head down south, Salem at Carrollton. I think this is going to be a big one because Carrollton always plays Salem tough. Do you like the Quakers to keep on going, or do you think they suffer their second loss of the year?
Quakers. Yeah. I think Quakers in a big way.
Then let's go to the other side where you've got West Branch and Alliance. Alliance, the team that beat Salem. Are they going to be able to upset the number 1 ranked West Branch Warriors?
Yeah, I mean, is this a trap game like Salem walked into? I mean, is that the same team that's going to show up that played against Salem? I doubt it. I think the Warriors continue to roll.
And one that everybody's got their eyes on, Western Reserve at Springfield. Western Reserve has been playing probably the most improved team over the last 6 weeks, and Springfield is Springfield.
Yeah, that's a good game. They've played well the last 4 weeks. Western Reserve will be a big-time matchup, but Bo's been getting it going, and their defense has gotten better. And we've talked before, their offensive line has kicked it into another gear, so I like Springfield.
Coach Armini going to join us here just shortly. I don't know if you can see him in the background or not, but he's going to talk to his team. But while he's doing that, let's get a couple more games under our belt. Girard at Hubbard. Girard, an up-and-coming team. Hubbard, a team that just trying to get to that finish line at a 10-0 mark.
What's that guy's TC?
Is it TD Caffey now?
TD. Well, you could call him TD. I think he's at what,
Caffey?
27 touchdowns, I think is the last tally. That's a good game. I mean, Girard, again, has played a lot of good opponents. It's one of those games where if they could pull the upset, you get a ton of playoff points. But Hubbard with that big offensive line, I think gets a win.
But if you're going to wear that shirt, Donnie, you got to talk about Mcdonald versus Lowellville.
Listen, here's the deal, though. It's down at Lowellville. McDonald's coming off of a bye because of COVID. They have so much youth in that team. It's, what are their minds going to be like going down into Lowellville? Strange things always happen down there. I think they smell the cavatelli in the air at the concession stand, and then they get a little hungry. But I think Lowellville this time around is going to take advantage of the youth of McDonald. There's not enough playmakers for the Blue Devils.
You're getting the double thumbs down from Billy
Mack. That's okay. Lowellville's been playing bad football too, so I mean, it could very easily be a Blue Devil win, but I'm not too confident in my Blue Devils this week.
Let's talk about our friends over in Austintown. Fitch taking on Wadsworth at home, trying to get back kind of in position. They're in the playoffs if it ended today. However, they're not feeling good going into the playoffs with how they've been performing.
No, and playing an opponent that's better than their record shows with the people in Wadsworth that they play. So will be another huge challenge. Got smacked around last week when we were over at Canfield, and I'm curious to see how they come out and play this one.
All right, last game I want to preface. Let's go Lakeview at Poland. A lot of people are writing this game off. Is this a springboard game for Poland towards the playoffs?
Well, I think what this game is going to tell you is Lakeview is going to come in and play with a lot of pride because their coach is now coaching for Poland. But Poland just has too many athletes all the way around to. I mean, it might be close for the first quarter and a half, but Poland will lay it to them.
All right, a big game, I think, and this will be the last one. East at Canfield. East obviously has struggled this year. Canfield, could this be a trap game for the Cardinals?
No, I don't think Coach Pav will let that happen. It's good to see East get back on the field with all they've been through, but Canfield's hitting it at all cylinders right now. I think that continues.
Yeah, the legend is coming. I see him in the distance. He's cleaning up, making sure that the field is better than when he found it. Coach Armini, come on over. He's got the umbrella. He's ready, folks. He's ready. He's either dressing like Mary Poppins for Halloween or he's ready for some rain tonight. Joined, of course, by the legend, one of my favorites, as I always say, Coach Armini. Coach, how are things progressing this week?
Good. Good week of practice. Our kids know what to expect here. This is our rivalry game, so they've been jacked up all week.
So you're telling me this is going to be a little bit of a physical game?
Yeah, you get what kind of what you expect with Brookfield. They're going to hit you in the mouth. That's the type of guys they have, that blue collar mentality. But our kids are like that too. So we're pretty excited about it.
Last time you two teams met, 55, 54, something like that. Can you take another one of those games?
I don't know. I had my yearly physical not too long after that. And I blame the health report on that game. I don't anticipate that happening. I think that we have two teams that like to play some defense too. So I think that you might see a little bit of that.
You got a very special group here. I mean, you got a very special group. Every team's important. Every team has their signature. You got a very special group this season. You talked about it in preseason. How have they accomplished what you've set out for them this year?
They are a good group of guys, a special group of guys that have grown up around our program. But, we're still finding things out about them. And this is a big game to find some more out. What do we do well? What do we need to work on? With the playoff expansion, with 16 teams getting in the region, we're sitting in a nice spot, so we want to keep finding things out about our football team. So you need games like this to test you.
People talk about benchmark games all the time. Is this game a benchmark game in week 8?
Yeah, absolutely. I circled this on when I got my schedule released. This is the game I circle. I don't circle too many games on my schedule. I like to kind of keep like an even kilter, but this is definitely one I schedule. I circle on the schedule, and I know Coach Clark. I've gotten to know him well over the years, and I know he circles it too.
You guys have a beautiful facility here. I imagine it's awesome to see these stands packed. What has it been like from last year to this year? Is it almost like a reset on the expectations for a Friday night atmosphere?
Yeah, night and day. It's weird because you get some young guys like sophomores and juniors that haven't really played in that, and they got a little bit of that this year, and they were like, wow, this is pretty cool, and some of the seniors were like, yeah, that's what it was, before all this stuff happened. So it has been a little bit different. The facility is nice. They do a nice job of taking care of it. It'd be a nice little, turf. Could be a little nicer too.
You can make a plug for that. Yeah, maybe some turf.
Well, I saw a little statistic where it was like 26 of the 44 teams in the area have turf now. So always looking to be number 27.
Something like that.
Yeah.
Let's get to earlier this year. A very tough Garrettsville team. I mean, very, very good. You played a tough schedule. Number one, how did you guys bounce back off of that L?
We had a really big game week 3. We played a bigger state-ranked team in Keystone, and we had a big win, played really well, especially in the second half there. We kind of rode that emotional high. We crashed a little bit, and Garrettsville can do that to you.
Yeah.
They're very well coached, physical football team. We knew that's how they would be.
Yeah.
And I think that we had moments in that game, and that's one of the things that we tried to focus on the last few weeks. We had moments where we could have capitalized. We could have seized the momentum and had the type of success we wanted to, and we let them slip through our fingers. So hopefully next time around when we get those opportunities, our guys will respond differently.
The bounce back has been incredible. I mean, sometimes you can bounce back or sometimes you can take that slide. Your guys challenge themselves and you challenge your guys to be a bounce back team. And how do you feel they've responded to this point?
That's senior leadership.
Yeah.
When you're able to bounce back,
Yeah.
It's guys that understand what needs to get done. It was those guys picking up the young kids in practice, saying, hey, this is not what we're about. This is not how this is supposed to look, so you got to pick up your play a little bit, and it's done a really, really good job of some of those freshmen we play, some of those sophomores we play, even some of the juniors we play, really upping the ante a little bit to try to keep up with those older guys.
Donnie, Steve?
So go back to the Garrettsville game. That's the only game I actually had circled as a loss for you guys when we started out the season, only because I didn't like the matchups.
Yeah.
I have you guys winning the rest of the way, but you circled Brookfield for a reason. So what kind of preparation did you have this week compared to other weeks, or do you take that as a 1 week at a time approach?
It is a Garrettsville is a different kind of matchup. They do something that we don't see very often, and it's funny because growing up it was the spread teams.
Yeah.
That you were like, how do we cover this? How are there 4 or 5 wide, and wing T stuff was not something that, you didn't prepare for. We played Fitch week 1,
right.
Where I'm from, at Chaney, and it was always wing T all summer long.
Right.
So you just kind of grew up knowing that kind of stuff. But now it's the opposite. So when teams do things like Garrettsville does, snapping to 2-3 different guys, pulling different guys, setting up hand back and counter off like student body right, student body left, it's not something our kids see very often. So it was a tough matchup,
Sure.
And we still had opportunities, don't get me wrong. We still had opportunities to have success there. And Brookfield, it's not like that. It's not a strange matchup. It's not. They're not going to out scheme you. They're going to run right at you.
Right.
And that's the type of game that I like to coach in. I think that's the type of game our kids like to play in.
Sure.
Look how excited he gets when they
love
say
it.
they're going to run right at
Yeah.
you. That's that West Side.
That's what you want.
I wanted to ask you this, and I'll be in the studio tomorrow, DJ. This, and for our fans, hop on this game tomorrow night, Coach. The athletes that will play on this field tomorrow night on both teams. I mean, Brookfield has a ton of very good athletes I've watched. Your guys do a great job. I don't think people understand the quality of this football league as a whole. Talk about that a little bit.
I mean, just to give our opponent a plug, it's been a while that I've been here at LaBrae, and I can't remember Brookfield not having an all-state type caliber quarterback. I mean, like, I don't know what they have in the water.
Or that lanky receiver that's a big target.
Oh, we went years, and it was Augustus Nicastro, who was so good. And then the last couple of years, with the guys they've had, it's like, geez, oh man, it's like you never get a break with them. But I think that's good. That makes the game exciting. They're going to come in, 6-1, 7-1 when we play them at the end of the year. And that's exciting. But there are a lot of athletes, they have a couple guys out wide and you know what, we have a couple of athletes that are going to cover those guys out wide.
Those are fun matchups.
They're going to try to get the football to their dudes, their 6'4" receivers, and we're going to get the ball to our 6'4" receiver, so it should be, it has the potential of being, an exciting game.
Yeah, I think I love your quarterback play. We had him on a couple weeks ago. Fantastic young man. And what impressed me about him, I'll never forget, Mike Alkelson. He knew every lineman, knew every name, thanked every one of them, running backs, receivers. That comes with you. You do a great job of representing LaBrae. Your coaching staff does. And it was awesome for me to come. I was over at the old stadium the last time I've been over this way. Great facilities here. And Deej, we'll work on that turf. Maybe they could be number 27.
Let's see what we can do. I don't know why you're looking at me.
That YSN logo will look good right in the middle of the field.
Here we go.
It's an exciting game, and with Aiden, to be honest with you, I mean, he's only scratching the surface. Every week he picks up a new layer of his game, and we haven't had to throw very much in recent weeks. He's really worked hard on that the last few weeks, and hopefully we're able to roll that out a little bit tomorrow night. Depending on weather, we'll see how that plays out. But, he just keeps getting better and better.
Everybody talks about culture nowadays. It's a buzzword, right? What's the culture like here at LaBrae? Everybody seems to love it. They love practice. You hear hooting and hollering. You don't hear that necessarily everywhere in week 8.
No.
Yeah. We want to grind. We always tell the kids, embrace the grind, rise and grind, and that's what this is all about. And this community really embraces that type of message, and it's near and dear to my heart. That's the only thing I know how to do, so I'm lucky to be at a place that really embraces that. And we just want to outwork everybody. We just want to keep working. We go 11 months a year. We practiced every day this summer, as much as we could. And our kids, keep, rising to the challenge, so we're lucky.
Cliche question to finish things off. What do you need to do tomorrow to get a win over Brookfield?
I think we got to protect the football. I think that this is one of those tight matchups where, the turnover battle matters, and I think especially, in a game, that might come down to a possession or two, this could be a very tight game, so we want to protect the football, and we need some explosive plays. We want to limit that on the defensive side. We want to make them have long drives, make them convert third downs. Last week we had Crestview for 2 of 13 on third down. We were able to get off the field, and that's big. And that's what we want to do to Brookfield. And I think we have to have those explosive plays on offense. Get the ball to Trayvon Drake, get the ball to Devin Carter. Those guys each had 50-yard plus touchdown runs last week. That's what we want to do.
Awesome.
Quick strikes.
Pretty good trio to get the ball to.
We appreciate your time so much. Good luck tomorrow, and we appreciate everything for YSN.
Yeah, thanks for coming out. It was great.
We'll be back right after this on YSN Primetime Live, coming at you from LaBrae.
When looking for home design inspiration, don't just be inspired, be Baird inspired. Whether new or remodeling, Baird Brothers has the latest trends like shiplap to refresh your home. Go from inspiration to installation with our wide selection of in-stock American hardwoods. From the rustic charm of antique oak to the warmth of traditional cherry, Baird Brothers has what you need to make your home inspiring. Baird Brothers, our family's heritage, your family's home.
For a great vehicle and a great experience, come to Boardman Mitsubishi today. As always, our full lineup of Mitsubishi models comes with a standard 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain warranty. Boardman Mitsubishi, your hometown Mitsubishi dealer since 1999.
Coca's Pizza, always supporting our community and our local athletes. Stop in on game day or score big and have it delivered right to your door. Check out our daily specials at cocaspizza.com. That's Coca's Pizza, we serve it hot.
At Hubbard Chevrolet, Hubbard can help you get the financing you need regardless of your situation. I'm Tony Page, and I've helped thousands of customers in Northeast Ohio and Western Pennsylvania buy a vehicle. Visit HubbardChevy.com to get pre-approved. Remember, folks, Hubbard can help.
not waiting to see what the world has in store for you. It's more about what you have in store for the world. All you need is the opportunity. All you need are the resources of a large university and the advantages of a personalized academic setting where you can experience new worlds in the arts and sciences, business, and education and make them your own. We are where you shape your future. We are Youngstown State University and proud.
And welcome back to Ysn Primetime Live. Again, due to a little bit of weather coming here in Trumbull County, we're going to cut things short. We will have up-to-date information on ysnlive.com about tomorrow's game, Brookfield versus LaBrae. And, of course, we'll have our Coach's Corner with Coach. We just had awesome answers. We appreciate Coach Armini so much. But that's going to do it for Primetime Live due to a little bit of weather that's coming on our way, and safety's number one priority. So we'll enjoy you guys tomorrow night. Enjoy the games, the coverage. We got a ton of games for you, and you'll be able to watch all those games, ysnlive.com/live. Until next time, we'll see you later.